Good morning. How the devil are you doing this one day? Hope you're all fit and well. Well, I say that, but I'm going to say very quick good morning to Gary Muirhead, who is definitely with us. One more day to go, he says. And Peter McKenna. The reason I'm going over to Peter is because he's not well at all. He's actually in hospital at the moment. But good morning, Peter. For reasons best known to this system, your button isn't working this morning, so I'm going to say a personal good morning to you and welcome. Welcome to the penultimate show. Let me just get rid of that if I can. Is my Stream Deck working properly today, I wonder? While I'm doing this, just good morning, Andy Dalville. Good morning to, bear with me. Oh, badly timed sneeze. Happy birthday to Steve Williamson. I didn't know it was his birthday today. Good morning to Chris Ford. Good morning to our friend Dan Cullen, and also to Ken Hatcher. Blimey. And to Mark Whiting as well. Good morning to you, one and all. I will be pressing the respective buttons. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try Mark Whiting's button just to make sure that that's working. Yes, apparently it is. Apparently it's just Peter McKenna's button that isn't working this morning. Right, okay. Back to where I was. Welcome to the penultimate show of 2023. I must admit, I woke up this morning thinking, thank the Lord, it's almost over. Not because I don't want to be here, because I do, but it's been one seriously long year. That being said, it's been an awesome 12 months. The show has gone from strength to strength. Our Demolition Insider has come of age. I think we're over 1,300 subscribers over there. And we also managed to cram in a fair bit of travel in the past year too. So there you are. There's probably about 2 hours or more of content left to bring you before we shut shop for the year. We'll be here tomorrow for our final show of the year, including a wave goodbye, kind of, from our AI news anchor, Demolition, who is going to get a bit of a facelift over the New Year break. I think we're going to make that a regular thing. Maybe change her up quarterly. The voice will remain, but the look will be slightly different. So, as I say, we'll be here tomorrow, and Demi will be here to say goodbye. Now, without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road. It is a Thursday, the 21st of December. We're almost there. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, we put the Hitachi EX1200-7 under the spotlight. There is seismic activity from Dynapac. Volvo continues to push the autonomy envelope. And just in time for Christmas, still swallowing tea, Engcon delivers a new way to cut down your Christmas tree. Timing, that's what it's all about. Plus, JCB helps deliver some Christmas cheer. But first, before we get to all of that, we're going to peer back through the mist of time to see what was happening on this very day in history. On this day in 1872, fictional character, granted, but Phileas Fogg completed his round-the-world trip in 80 days in Jules Verne's book, Around the World in 80 Days. Used to be one of my favourite books, that did. I wonder how long the trip would take these days. Couple of days, give or take, I guess. In 1891, the first game of basketball based on modern rules took place at Springfield in Massachusetts. In 1937, the Disney movie Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs premiered in Los Angeles. I wonder if you'd be able to make that these days. In 1968, Glenn Campbell released the album Wichita Lineman. In 1978, serial killer John Wayne Gacy was arrested for murder. And in 1988, a terrorist bomb destroyed Pan Am Flight 103 over Lockerbie in Scotland. The tragedy killed 270 people. And exactly 1 year later, I flew over the crash site on my way to spend Christmas in America. The pilot very kindly pointed out that fact. Thankfully, this was long before my frequent flyer girlfriend became my nervous flyer wife. I'm not sure she'd have enjoyed that these days. Now, before we get into the real meat of the show, let me very quickly remind you of our question of the day. Yeah, as we count down the days until Santa's arrival, it's time for another festive question for you. And it is, again, from our resident quizmaster, Mr. Gary Muirhead. And his question, quite simply, is this. What is on your Christmas dinner menu? Are you a turkey with all the trimmings? Are you a goose or are you a beef? Are you going fully veggie or are you having something different entirely? Failing that, do you have anything that others might consider unusual? When I lived at home, about 1,000 years ago, we had both roast and mashed potatoes with our Christmas dinner. No idea why. Maybe potatoes were cheap back then. I guess that may be the case. These days, I'd much rather have a chicken tikka biryani, but apparently that goes against tradition and is therefore forbidden. But what about you? What is on your Christmas dinner menu this year? Let us know in the chat, and we will, I promise, come back to that at the end of the show. Speaking of the show, shall we begin? I think we should. Gary? No, it will not. Will Demi's new look involve stockings and suspenders? No, it won't. Having said that, it's a thought, given the fact that we are a largely male audience, but no, I'm not going to do that. Maybe I'll do it privately. Watch this space. Now, there are many top quality big excavators in the market, but few of them are as widely respected and universally popular as the EX1200 from Hitachi. And now the machine is available in its -7 configuration. Now is the perfect time to take a closer look at one of the true legends of the industry.
The EX1200-7 excavator is renowned for its productivity, exceptional efficiency resulting in reduced life cycle costs, and unrivaled reliability thanks to its robust design and durable components.
Yeah, that's a machine that gave birth to some very good high-reach conversions back in the day. And as you just saw, could dig a bit too. I guess that leaves us with just one burning question. The Hitachi EX1200-7. Is it hot or is it not? And if anybody says not, you need to take a long, hard look at yourselves. Let us know in the chat. Is it hot or not? While you're thinking about it, this.
If you are enjoying this episode, please consider supporting the show. You can leave us a tip at buymeacoffee.com/demolition news.
Now, those in Iceland are currently obsessing over seismic activity as that volcano continues to rumble on, creating havoc and some very good images as well. Here in the field of construction, however, we're also monitoring seismic activity of a very different kind.
I am the roller operator for Superior Paving Corporation here in Gainesville, Virginia. We're doing the base asphalt layer on Interstate 95. This is an expansion lane. It's been a 3-year project. It's probably about 80% of the way completed. This machine has been on the job here approximately 4 months. and it's giving the final compaction for this base layer and intermediate layers and for the topping layers that are upcoming. This machine has the unique seismic, a variable compaction mechanism which gives it the right amount of compaction for the minimal amount of passes. That's one of the features that I find really helpful about it. It just seems like a well-balanced machine, and it's easy to operate. The slow stop, as far as when you stop and go and it comes to a slow stop, reduces bumps in the mat. I like the manual steering wheel as opposed to some other machines that have a joystick. It has the 360 camera, which helps me be safer on the job site, which is a plus. The suspension seat is also a plus. It actually adjusts for more heavier individuals such as myself, so it works pretty good. Very refreshed at the end of the day. Our company is always looking to use the best machinery possible to achieve the best results, and we pride ourselves on doing a quality job. So if there's a machine out there that's going to give us an advantage to have a better product end result, we're going to take advantage of it. So this seismic happens to be one of those new things to come down the pike. So far it's been working extremely well.
This is our EX1200. It's a 7-ton machine. Today we're actually verifying the performance of our latest innovation called seismic system. The seismic system is a new feature that we have developed to further increase the efficiency of the machine, reduce the fuel consumption, and offer greater comfort for the operator. What we claim is that you can achieve an increased compaction performance when you use the system. We are checking that the system is not playing tricks on us. Actually, we have been on field trials, and this is actually our last place to visit before we're ready to release this on the market.
I'm quality control or quality assurance for these guys to make sure that the equipment is running efficient and basically that all the cores are passing. I do like the seismic because what I've noticed is that mats are more uniform since we have that one. I believe what it does, it knows where to and not to vibe at. And that's very important because you vibe too much or you don't vibe enough, you're either going to break it or, you're not going to do anything.
My relationship's probably 30 years old with Superior Paving. We service them, support them, so it's been a good relationship. They've probably got about 25 Dynapacs now. They're very technology forward thinking. And when we told them about this new technology, they were interested and they wanted to try it. And so far it's been good, and they like the technology.
I confess, I know precious little about compaction, but I know what I like, and I like that. I like that a lot. Now, just so you know, Peter McKenna, my apologies. For some reason, I thought your button wasn't working this morning. To this, I pressed it 2, 3, 4 times, and it's actually worked every time. Nothing on my screen. Everybody else's, there it is, no problem at all. But yours isn't displaying for reasons I don't fully understand. Lots of answers coming in on Christmas dinners, some non-traditional ones, which I'm pleased to see. I hate roast dinners. If I could duck Christmas dinner and have something different entirely, I would do precisely that. But apparently that is taboo. We'll discuss it at the end of the show. Between now and then, let's get on with this. Looking back over 2023, there have been many, many themes that have categorized this year. Construction industry training and grandfather rights, embodied carbon and the retro first movement, the apparent backlash against electric equipment, the dawning of the hydrogen age. But this past year has also been the year in which autonomy has made its way out of the mining sector and it's edged ever closer to the field of construction. And leading the charge is Volvo.
Asta Zero have helped Volvo Autonomous Solution to design and realize a generic test environment for mining vehicles and machines.
and it's very important for us that we have here the capability to not just test the machines, but we actually test a full ecosystem, which, for example, includes the charging stations.
And we at AstaZero, we help this by making the testing and the validation possible. We can do the testing for all systems around the vehicles itself, but also the simulation environments and other tools that would be used for the development.
The test environment that we're building here at AstaZero is a part of an ecosystem where we combine virtual environment and physical environment. And by that we can test, develop and verify our requirements, but also continuously verify that we're also meeting our safety standards.
We can deploy new technology by testing it first before we bring it to our customer sites. Overall, all the three elements, safety, innovation, and sustainability, we really find a very good match on this proving ground here.
Just taking a step back from the discussions about potential job losses caused by a switch to autonomy, just for a second, can we just take a moment to marvel at just what Volvo has accomplished there? Could this actually be the dawning of the next industrial revolution that we're witnessing right before our eyes? Right before our eyes. I think perhaps it might be. Now this.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
So you're walking through your local forest and you spy the perfect Christmas tree. Now, you could be all manly, break out the axe that you happen to be carrying with you and start chopping away before shouting timber at the top of your voice. Alternatively, you could call your local Engcon dealer and get him to hook you up with one of these. Yeah, if only I had a forest. If only you could go around chopping down trees willy-nilly. I was impressed by that. Grab with incorporated chainsaw, Gary Muirhead says, if it was a steel wrist, it would decorate the tree for you as well. Yes, it probably would. Never, ever fails. If I show any kind of tilt rotator or quick coupler, guaranteed Gary will find a way to promote steel wrist. They really should have you on the payroll, Gary. Right, let's get down to the final knocking, shall we? And it's this.
If you would like to buy a limited edition Break Fast show sticker, head on over to buymeacoffee.com/demolition news/extras.
Those of a certain age might recall a certain Christmas TV tradition. Back in the day, Christmas morning TV consisted of a well-known TV personality visiting a children's hospital to dish out presents to kids that were in hospital during the festivities. For a while, that job was entrusted to Noel Edmonds, and for very good reason. He was reliable, widely liked and respected. He was a safe pair of hands. Well, Noel is no longer on our TV screens, so the delivery of Christmas gifts for the needy has been entrusted to another safe pair of hands that are equally reliable and respected. The job has gone to JCB, and rather than relying on elves, they've sought out some help from some much, much bigger names.
Today we are at the Hub Foundation in the heart of Stoke-on-Trent with a JCB toy appeal where JCB have been donated over 1,200 toys. We are wrapping and distributing them to vulnerable and deserving children in the local area. I think these appeals are so important for the community. Having grown up in this exact area, my high school is a stone's throw away, my primary school is literally on this road. So not everybody is as fortunate as others, so I think it's greatly important.
So I remember being a kid at Christmas, we always had presents, it was always really exciting. I know that some kids aren't so lucky. We're in an area that is a bit disadvantaged, and I'm really proud to be part of something in my local area as well that's supporting children at this time of year.
I want you to deserve another treat too, so I chose you as the class to receive some presents from this appeal.
You've just seen for yourselves what this means to the children within Stoke-on-Trent. The smiles on the faces, the noise within the classroom, it means the absolute world to the children that receive these gifts. That all comes through the JCB Christmas Toy Appeal. It means everything to them, so a massive thank you.
I'm going to echo exactly what Gary Muir has said. Fantastic work, JCB. Well done. Dan, your man, Cullen, says well done to JCB and staff for doing their bit for disadvantaged kids. And Dan also says those kids could be the future of the future of construction. Yes, they certainly could. I want to say hats off to everyone involved in that initiative, and in particular to all the team at JCB. A lot of the work that JCB does for charity and for the local community in and around Staffordshire has a nasty habit of flying under the radar. So I'd just like to acknowledge that we here at the Breakfast Show are aware of what you do. JCB, that's me tipping my hat to you. Now, that pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show, but we're not done by a long chalk because we need to go and talk turkey, stuffing, goose, and the like. So I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping once again reindeer-like into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around, please stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. By the way, if this is your last day before Christmas and you're not going to be here tomorrow, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. But if you are here tomorrow, I'll be here as well. If you have the time and the inclination, please stick around, for I shall be back with the Craic after this. Yeah, that sounds suitably festive. How are we all doing this morning? With the exception of Peter McKenna, because we know how he's doing. He's back in hospital. Get well soon, mate. Please, please, please. I'm not a religious person, but I'm praying you're to be home for Christmas because nobody wants to spend Christmas in hospital. Gary Muirhead was first off the mark this morning, I think. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, gang. One more day to go. Yes, one more day indeed. And I'll tell you what's been really, really, really refreshing, and it's been a big relief as well. Tomorrow's show, the content for it is already in the can. I've been hoping and praying that we would have enough content to see us through to the end of the year, and lo and behold, we have, and that's without the whole of today to go. So we may end up with a slightly longer than usual show tomorrow, but yes, as I say, we'll be back. I did mention the fact that we're going to give our AI Demolition a bit of an upgrade. The problem is, because she's not a real person, I hate to break that to you, because she's not a real person. I can't change her outfit, and I can't change where she is. I basically created it to look like she was in a news studio, but I can't change anything about that. So rather than you getting bored, and frankly me getting bored, I'm going to go back to the drawing board and I'm going to come up with a new demolition. If anybody's got any preference, if you'd like a redhead or a blonde or a brunette, please let me know in the chat. I'll listen. I wave of the wand, I can create her in however you like, with a notable exception of no stockings and suspenders. Gary, I'm looking at you. Peter McKenna is here. Good morning, Gary, Peter, and get well soon, mate. And apologies for your button going berserk this morning. Andy Dovell, good morning, everyone. This is my last working day of the year. You made it all the way through, Andy. Congratulations. I don't know if that means you won't be here tomorrow, but if it does, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. Hope you have a safe, prosperous and healthy new year in 2024. Steve Williamson isn't here, but I'm going to say on Gary's behalf, happy birthday to Steve Williamson. Hope you have a good one. Yes, I hope he has a good one too, which might explain why he's not here, taking the day off. Chris Ford says, good morning, trust we've not been blown away today. It's only a bit blowy out where I am, but apparently it's blowing a hoolie elsewhere. Dan, your man, says, good morning, everyone. And it's final day of work of 2023. All right for you part-timers, but I shall be here tomorrow doing exactly the same thing as I did yesterday, exactly the same thing as I'm doing today. Ken Hatcher is in the house, looking somewhat surprised, but good morning to you, Ken. Mark Whiting is here as well. Good morning, Mark. Did I? Yes, I did. I upgraded. I thought as Mark Whiting is now very much a show regular, I've upgraded his Stream Deck button, so he now has a nickname. He is much like Mark Wahlberg back in the day. You are Marky Mark Whiting now. You can thank me later. I did my review of what happened on this day in history, but I missed a few, and our friend Peter McKenna has come up with a few. Pentonville Prison in 1842. Pentonville was opened, became the model for British prisons. A further 54 were built to the same design over 6 years, and hundreds more were built throughout the British Empire. Doesn't that make you proud, eh? Doesn't that make you proud? We are the global leaders in prison design. In 1880, an act passed by the House of Keys on the Isle of Man granted women the vote, provided they were widows or spinsters with the property rated at £4 or over. First opportunity to vote was in April the following year. In 1901, Norwegian women were allowed to vote, but in local elections only. Yes, can't be giving them too much responsibility, can we? And in 1963, Sir Jack Hobbs, English cricketer, died. He is widely regarded as cricket's greatest ever opening batsman. I think there's a few contenders for that title, but thank you very much indeed for that, Peter. Hospital food apparently is peng. I have nothing to say. Mick Norton's here. Good morning to you, Mick. And as I say, if it is your last day, if it does happen to be your last day, happy Christmas. Thanks for all your support this year. Have a great new year. Ken Hatcher, he's off until the 2nd. I'm off until the 8th. One of the joys of self-employment. I can look at the calendar and say, is it worth going back for a half week? I don't think so. I'm going to hang it out for as long as I possibly can. However, just to let you know, the WhatsApp group will remain open, but do me a favour, not too much over Christmas Day and Boxing Day, if you could be so kind. I'm not going to go dark, but I'd quite like a bit of peace and quiet just for those 2 days. I will be responding to emails. I'll be responding to messages as well. It's just going to take a couple of days to recharge the batteries. Now, the question of the day, which came courtesy of Mr. Gary Muirhead, is what is on your Christmas dinner? If you stick around for another couple of minutes, you'll see my wife has actually listed what's on my Christmas dinner menu. Can't say I'm excited about any of it, but that's just me. The first answer came from Peter McKenna. He doesn't know what's on his Christmas dinner menu because he hasn't seen the hospital menu yet. Hope that's not the case. Dan Khan says, thank you for fantastic content videos this last year. Mark and Fred, you're very, very welcome, Dan. Thank you for being here as a constant source of inspiration. So it's been a blast this past year. I'm sure I said this last year, but I do feel like this year is the year that the Breakfast Show came of age. It's got its own rhythm and its own vibe about it now, which has got absolutely bugger all to do with me. It's driven by you guys, so thank you very much indeed for that. Chris Ford says, poor old Demolition, only getting a facelift and not a chest lift. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if my AI will allow that. Let me see what I can do. Ken Hatcher says, I'm off out this year for dinner. Soup, turkey, carvery, and Christmas pudding. Fantastic stuff. Listen, I'm saying fantastic stuff. None of that, with the notable exception of Christmas pudding, none of that is my cup of tea, but good luck to you. Will Demi's new look involve stockings and suspenders? It will not. Particularly if she's just head and shoulders. Having said that, we'll see. We'll see exactly what we can come up with. That was the question of the day. What is on your Christmas dinner menu? And here is my other half spilling the beans on what we'll be enjoying at Chez Anthony this year. Apparently, it will be starter of prawns and avocado. Main will be turkey and ham with all the trimmings. Hood will be Christmas pudding, mince pie and ice cream. And then the bit that she takes care of. Sherry, wine, Baileys. And pretty much anything else that happens to be lying about, I would imagine. Glenn Johnston's in the house. Morning, Glenn. Thank you very much indeed for your support this year. I'll be back tomorrow, but if you're not around, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Chris Ford says, food, traditional Christmas dinner, roast and mash, and also a Yorkshire pudding. We are a Yorkshire pudding family as well. And I realise traditionally, Yorkshire pudding goes with beef, not with turkey. I'm willing to die on that hill. But roast and mash, yeah, why is that? Would you do that any other time of the year? We don't do it at home now, I have to say. But when I was a kid, we certainly did. Now, I'm just going to point out that I'm considering a house swap, okay? Because I'm no fan of any kind of roast dinner, and I'm no fan particularly of the Christmas dinner. However, Gary Muirhead says his Christmas menu is prawn cocktail to start, main course of chicken curry and fried rice from the local Chinese takeaway, Christmas pudding with double cream. Now that is a meal I can get behind. Yes. Chris Ford says, new machine day, take advantage of the end of year deals. Yes, there are a few deals out there, no question about it. At least it'll be able to pull the skin off a rice pudding, unlike some machines out there. That was referring to the EX1200. Gary Muirhead, that sounds amazing. Can you set an extra place? Yes, you can have my place, Gary. I'm gonna spin on up to Scotland and surprise your wife and say, I'll have the chicken curry and fried rice if you'll be so kind, Mrs. Muirhead. I don't know her first name, but Mrs. Muirhead. I'll be taking Gary's place. Gary, the door's open whenever you're ready. Jim Turner's here as well. Morning from the cowshed, a very windy one. I take it you're talking about the weather and not the cows here? Could be both. Bearing in mind, cows apparently are almost entirely responsible for global warming, what with their flatulence and all. Gary Muirhead and I are in agreement on the EX1200. It most definitely is hot. It is very hot indeed. Peter McKenna says it's extremely windy here in the northwest. Lots of ferry cancellations on the Irish sea routes, which will be a real pain if you're going home to family in Ireland for Christmas, or if you're coming to the UK from Ireland. Let's have a look. Who else have we got here? There you are, Gary. As I said, you're always welcome, my friend. We need a new road like that in the UK. Yeah, that was the Dynapac seismic compaction thing. Is your button stuck, Mark? You've said hello to me about 5 times, and I'm still not seeing one of them. I have no idea what's going on there. Everybody else's, if I press the button for anybody else, I can see it. With yours, nothing at all. And there is my wife confirming, yes, we do indeed get a Chinese takeaway on Christmas Eve. And I think that's one of the reasons I'm not particularly keen on the Christmas dinner. Because by the following day, when I wake up, I'm still full from the night before. Maybe I just need a salad or something. really a salad guy, to be honest. It's not just a roller. No, it most certainly isn't. It is a seismic roller. Peter McKenna says, I hope you all miss me. Now, Mick Norton says, definitely not goose. Nightmare memories of my late Irish mum's insistence that my little brother and I having to attend school with goose grease rubbed on our chests every day to ward off any coughs or colds. Did it work? I'm very aware of, and I don't know if they still do this, but I'm very aware of the old goose grease on channel swimmers. Those trying to swim from England to France were liberally coated in goose fat. I would imagine they'd roast up quite nicely after that, and a bit slippery. Can you imagine you swim all the way to France, and your other half says, "That's fantastic. Let me give you a hug." And gives you a squeeze, and you go off like a bar of soap, I would imagine. Roast parsnips, cauliflower, broccoli, roast and mashed potatoes, Yorkshire puddings with turkey. Turkey, now, this is the kind of thing I like. So, we are a household here in Shea Demolition News. We do cranberry sauce. It goes with turkey, apparently. I'm no expert. And I like it. I like turkey with cranberry sauce. I also like cranberry sauce with brie, ideally in a toasted sandwich. That's a whole other story. But mint sauce and applesauce. Mint sauce and applesauce with turkey. People, discuss. I like mint sauce. I like both those, but mint sauce I'm a big fan of. But I normally associate it with lamb. Anybody else think that Peter McKenna has come up with a culinary revelation, or is a complete lunatic? Let us know. Gary Muirhead says we're going to TGI Fridays on Christmas Eve and then going to watch the new Wonka movie at the cinema after the meal. I've heard very good things about the Wonka movie. I was watching Mark Kermode on, I think it's BBC Sounds these days, talking about it the other day. Personally, I'm of the belief that it doesn't need another Wonka movie. I thought, as much as I like Johnny Depp, I thought the one that he did was largely pants. And I don't actually think you're ever likely to top Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder, to my mind, is Willy Wonka. He just is. However, like I say, I've heard good things about it, so have a nice time. And yeah, TGI Fridays, not been to a TGI Fridays in many, many moons. Who we got here? Dan, your man, says, I still think you... okay, we'll go back to autonomous machines. Can you imagine this being hacked and used as a weapon? Weaponized autonomous dump trucks. There's something to make you stay awake at night. Too much technical technology in construction. I kind of agree. And I kind of got a foot in both camps. There's a bit of me that thinks, I want to keep as many jobs as we possibly can, not for selfish reasons, because by the time that all kicks in, I'll be long retired. But, I want people to have the experience of working in demolition and construction and so on down the line. Excuse me. But then on the other hand, I just find technology fascinating. I really find it fascinating, and I just love the way that some of these companies, Volvo being a very good example, how they are just taking a look at, basically taking a step back. How could we make this better? How could we make mines more efficient? How could we remove accidents entirely? How could we do away with sick days? We go autonomous. And as Gary Muirhead has said, going to be interesting to see what Volvo come up with in 2024. I'm looking forward to Volvo in 2025. 2025, because as I've said before, the development cycle of equipment, I'm not saying it's entirely driven by this, but a lot of the big companies tend to gear their major announcements, product announcements, around Bauma and ConExpo, depending what side of the pond they're on. So next year is not a ConExpo year, and it's not a Bauma year. It is an Intermat year, and it's also a Mine Expo year. So I would imagine there'll be some European type developments for Intermat, and I would imagine there will be some very, very big equipment developments for Mine Expo in September. But I reckon the big changes from the likes of Volvo and Komatsu and Hitachi and Devellon and JCB and all that, I think 2025 will be the year. I really do. Looking forward to it. It's a hot dumper, but looks odd without a cab. Yeah, it does. It does. But in some ways, I prefer that to an empty cab. An empty cab looks like it's gone off on its own little mission. Whereas you take the cab away, it actually looks like what it is. But I know what you're saying. Peter McKenna says it's okay in a controlled environment. Autonomous trucks don't seem to fare well in large open cast mines when tipping. Seems they don't always stop when they should, end up going over the edge. This is an open debate. I disagree entirely. Look at the Caterpillar experience. More than 4 billion tonnes moved without a single incident. And yet, we know full well that some dump truck drivers, particularly those on very long hauls, long monotonous hauls, regularly fall asleep at the wheel. I think it's the other way around. I think that manually operated trucks are more of a danger than autonomous trucks. But, as I say, freedom of speech reigns supreme here at the Breakfast Show. You're all entitled to your own opinion. Hot, says Dan, you man. Steel wrist would decorate the tree for you as well. Do you know, that would have been a fantastic promotional video for somebody. Actually placing baubles and tinsel and stuff. Wish somebody had thought of that. Let's have a look. My wife is talking to Gary. Gary, you heard fab. Can't remember the last time we went to TGI Fridays. Nor can I. Used to go there fairly, I wouldn't say regularly, but my kids used to like that for birthdays and stuff. Not been for years. Could use a tree shearer and grab this morning. There's a tree lying on my phone line. Oh, brilliant. That's just what you need, isn't it? Thank you for that, Chris. Good morning to you. Have you been on the sherry this morning, Mark? No, I've been on the tea. I'm just a bit of a mess this morning. That's all it is. Let's have a look. Yeah, well done to JCB. Doing all their hard work. Do you know, this is, I'm going to do the other one as well. There we are. Fantastic work, JCB, well done. And Dan Cunner says they could be the future of the construction industry. And there we are. Ken Hatcher saying, well done, JCB. One of the reasons I made the point of the kind of tipping my hat to JCB, the national news and even sometimes the local news in and around Staffordshire has a nasty habit of getting on JCB's case when they are, through no fault of their own, they're forced to lay off people. There's a downturn in demand for some of the British-built products, so they lay off generally temporary staff, only to re-employ them 6 or 12 months later. All the local press and the national press jump on that. There's been a real, what I could only describe as a bit of a witch hunt from the left-leaning media about Lord Bamford and his tax status and what. I get all of that, and feel free. That's freedom of the press and everything else. But I don't think the positive contributions that JCB make are anywhere near widely enough reported. That's my fault. Chris Ford. It's a good job Jimmy Savile is no longer around. Could you imagine him dressed up as Father Christmas? Come here and sit on my knee and we'll talk about the first thing that comes up. Well done, JCB. Tasteless, but very, very funny. Thanks, Chris. Jim Turner says, fair play, JCB. I hope that big firms like them can all club together to reform how we get our next generation of plant operators and other trades. I know JCB are already heavily involved in partnership with other training companies. They are. And even going back to when I was, a wet behind the ears plant reporter, JCB used to basically donate machines to the Bertram Newton training facility of the CITB over in Norfolk, wasn't it? Yeah. A larger final show will be great. What I'm going to do, because we've got a 2-week break, any content that I've got tomorrow, we'll be playing it. Because when January the 8th rolls around, fresh start. So it may well go on a little bit. Dan says Demolition, or he says Demolition, which may well be a Freudian slip. Demolition is perfect. Let's see if we can make her more perfect, shall we? Reference new look Demi, redhead, no hair. Yes, the old ones are the best. No hair, just a red head. Thank you. Chris Ford says, married to a Duracell, copper covered top. I don't need reminding. Okay, so it looks rather like the red head is out the window. Morning to the fabulous Mr. Andy Darvelous Darvel. Good morning to you. Good morning all. Just to say, good morning, bro. Got the doctors having the vampires at me again. Have a great day. Hope everyone enjoys themselves. Thank you very much indeed for that footy. Mark Whiting. I apparently Marky Mark Whiting is exactly what other people call him. I've never ever had an original thought. Just before anybody leaves. Morning, Steve. Happy birthday. You've missed it, but Gary Muirhead has already done it. Happy birthday and very, very happy Christmas and a happy New Year as well. And he actually contributes to our question of the day. Apparently, in the land of Steve Williamson, starter will be bowl of ham soup, prawns, and a choice of turkey, ham, and venison. Oh, with all the trimmings, including white pudding. White pudding. Is that a Scottish thing? Is that a Steve Williamson thing? I like me some white pudding. Never heard about it being on a Christmas dinner. It sounds fantastic. And I do have to say, do like me a bit of venison. Apparently, crazy high winds in the Highlands today. It can get a bit blowy up that part of the world. Apparently, the secret of cooking goose is put a brick inside it. When it's cooked, throw the goose away and eat the brick. It's more tender. I have to say, I've only eaten goose properly twice in my life. Enjoyed it both times, but it's very thin slices, and I had a full set of teeth back then as well. Steve Williamson agrees. The original Wonka movie is miles better. It is one of those classics, isn't it? And we sat there. Well, I was working on my laptop, but the family were watching Home Alone yesterday. What a corker that is. What a corker it is. Question of the day. Goose grease on my chest never worked for young Norton, just got me into playground scraps when other kids said, you stink, Norton. Ah, yes. Here comes Goosey Norton. The wife's name is Christine. Christine Muirhead. Mind you, she's been called a lot worse. Not around here, she hasn't. Christine, the long-suffering Mrs. Muirhead. Good morning, Christine, wherever you shall be. Happy Christmas. New Volvo F Series in 2024. There's something to look forward to. And I missed it in my roundup of predictions for next year. Thanks for that, Steve. Construction is like warfare. They try to automate it, but it's troops on the ground that win the war. I think you could well be right. And I think we will be seeing a bit of that. Mick Norton says society will rue the day where major stakeholders insisted that autonomous equipment will cure all ills. Somebody's been watching the Terminator movies. Peter McKenna is back again, now getting hooked up to my monitor and nebulizer. And he also says white pud. Yes, I agree, white pud. Company I work for, Redhead Demolition. And good morning to Footy. Thank you very much indeed for that, Dan. That will do us. I think I've got to go and I may actually make a start on the new Demolition today. As we've had no votes, I shall just see what AI randomly throws out and see what we can come up with. I might, if I get it done in time, I may even give you a glimpse of the new Demolition. She's going to be like Doctor Who. You know how Doctor Who regenerates every once in a while? Was once John Pertwee and was once Tom Baker and was once Peter Davidson and David Tennant and the Capaldi fella. And apparently a woman at one point, and now I think there's a black guy doing it. I don't watch Doctor Who. I'm making this up as I go along. But you know how the Doctor Who regenerates? Demolition is going to regenerate on a regular-ish basis. I'm going to do it until I get bored with it, and then we'll see how we go. So if you are around tomorrow, you may just get a look at the brand new Demolition. We'll see how we go. That will do us for today. I'm going to go and, as I say, play with the AI and get tomorrow's show, the final show of 2023, ready to share with you. Roll on tomorrow, losing the will to work, says Crystal. That's kind of how I woke up this morning. I woke up this morning, and it literally was. I wake up without the alarm anyway. I woke up and I thought, Oh, God, I've got to do it again. Nearly there, though. Nearly there, yes. Could you make a spitting image version of Demi? Don't know. Don't know. Be interesting, wouldn't it? I reckon I'll sell them by the cartload. Right, people, go and have a fantastic day. Be back here tomorrow. If this is your final day, Merry Christmas. Thanks for all your support this year. Thanks for all your input as well. Have a fantastic Christmas with whoever you're spending your Christmas with, even if you're spending it alone. But have a great time and have a fantastic New Year. But if you are here tomorrow, please join me and I'll do this all again. And Peter McKenna says, no TV for me. I'm watching YouTube and being entertained. Okay, the Breakfast Show WhatsApp group. We are here to provide a public service, if nothing else. Everybody, have a fantastic day. It's nearly the end. There's a Doors song, something like that, isn't there? This is the end. I'm not going to sing it to you. Nobody needs that this time of the morning. Everybody, go and have a fantastic day. Thank you for being here. And Christine Muirhead, pleased to meet you. I'll see you all tomorrow. All the best.